Assalamualaikum everyone, this is probably the last video or maybe the second last, depends on the time. So today we'll be talking about abstract classes, what they are used for, how do you do that, and what on earth are they. So this is the same old animal method that we used in inheritance, except I have cut out a few things. So this only has 4 variables, 2 methods, and everything is fine. Now let me tell you about some employees. You see, employees tend to disobey. I said, for example, I have a company and I told them, okay, whoever extends animal class should create a make sound method. This is obligatory. Not only that, he and she should not create an instance of the animal class. That means animal A or B equal to new animal. Don't you dare do this. You know what? Let's make it cooler. Let's repeat animal. I don't know why I'm doing this. It's for fun. So nobody should dare to create an assassin itself. However, you can create a single assassin. And okay, this is Altair, sound is not Burke, sound is okay. What should be the sound? Yeah, okay, how about nothing is true? Okay, enough fun. Now an assassin has legs. Okay, let's just replace legs with blades. It's more violent that way. And make sound should be assassinate. It's fine if you do this, but I have some conditions. You cannot create an assassin class, a raw assassin class, and you should create your own assassination method. So assassinate, it should be your own, custom made. You cannot inherit my assassinate method. And the employees are like, I don't care what he says. So they go ahead and create this assassin class, which I told them not to. Told them not to. And I also created this. Told them to create this method. They didn't create this, so they disobeyed both of my orders, and so they can compile, they can run even, no problem. How do I prevent this? How do I make sure that they listen to me when I do this? That means they cannot create an assassin, and they must create their own assassinate method. Otherwise, they cannot be an assassin. For that, I have to use the word abstract, and I have to turn this abstract as well. So what does this abstract do? The abstract makes sure that this method has been overridden. You already know what override means. Override means creating that method in the subclass. And abstract methods don't have parentheses. They are like this. Remember this, okay? Don't write abstract methods like concrete methods. It will show an error. I'll show you. See, there's an error. There will still be errors. Why? Look at the errors, I'll show you. Number 1, assassin is abstract, cannot be instantiated. I told them not to do this, but they disobeyed me, so now it will not be compiled. What's the second error? Altair is not abstract and does not override abstract method assassinate in assassin. What does it mean by Altair is not abstract? Now if I turn Altair into abstract as well, then this changes things. But now a new error is created. Altair cannot be created. Both of these are invalid. So will it compile? Will it compile if I comment them out? Yes, it will. So abstract inherited classes can disobey me, but they will have to eventually create a class, right? An abstract class cannot be instantiated, so if they create an abstract class that is disobeying me, it's no use because they cannot create the new class. They cannot get the work done. So now, fine, but you still didn't listen to me. I told you to make your own assassination method, and they go, okay, fine, I will do this. So they go ahead and create their own assassination method, which is air assassinate. Is my assassinate spelling okay? I don't know, I don't care though. And let's create a new one, cake. This is Altair's assassination method, even though both of them are wrong, but let's just deal with it. Okay, now everything is fine. So this is for working perfectly. You don't need to run it twice. So with the word abstract, I can make sure that nobody creates a raw assassin, because if they do, it will not compile. Okay, now that that's done, let me comment it out for you. Cannot create abstract objects. Now let me give you another scenario. Now it's the opposite. Okay, before that I want to show you something. You want to set the blades for Altair to 10. Now a Templar can hack your computer and say, okay, Altair has 1 blade. Okay, I want to give Altair 10 blades, even though Templars won't do that. Okay, how about you think about throwing knives? Altair has 15 throwing knives, but you want to convert. The Templar wants you to have only 1 throwing knife, that is actually the dagger. Hehehe. Now this is a problem. Why? I don't want anybody to change Altair's blades. Now system.out.println, I need this. A.blades. Oh dear. Altair now has 1 throwing knife. That's not good. So how do we solve this? How do we make sure that Altair's blades are not touched? You can do that by a word which is called final. You can do the same for strings. Now that you have used final, some Templar comes and says, hey, I want to change Altair's sound to stupid. You know what? Let's see you something. Can't swim. How about that? I'm sorry, but you cannot change final variables. I'm extremely sorry. you cannot change. Cannot assign a value to a final variable blades and sounds. This final word is your protection. You cannot change finals, so forget it. It cannot be changed. I'm commenting it out. If I'm doing this every time, I'm commenting it out. And I'm also commenting over here. Unchangeable. So that's some good variations. Now how about the opposite thing that happens? You have in the assassin class, you have, say you have a sound alters library. You want every assassin to inherit this, but you don't want them to change this. Moreover, you want every assassin to have some specific training. For example, you want them to be able to, oh, by the way, this is a concrete method. Abstract classes can have concrete methods. Concrete method means that's not abstract, that's all. So you want them to be able to know how to swim. Put alter as an exception. Similarly, you want them to be able to jump. Now, what's the way to make sure that all the things I have over here is abstract and final? I don't want to write final for each of them. I want all of them to be final, but I don't want them to, someone to just go away and change hundreds of variables to final. You know what, I'll create a separate code for this. I'll just save it, create a new one, copy all of this over here, save this as now. The thing I'm going to do is make it an interface. Interface, make sure every variable equal to static and then final. You do know what static is. Static means it can be accessed from anywhere and it's changed every time, and final means it cannot be changed. Brother, how can static and final be together? Static always changes. Well, static changes, but if it is final it will not change, but the fact remains that static can be accessed from anywhere, right? So that's the point over here, not the fact of changing, the fact that it can be accessed from anywhere. So when I am writing interface, all of these variables are automatically final and static. Not to mention, interface does not allow concrete methods, so you cannot have these, and you don't have to write abstract. Automatically all of them are abstract, and you cannot set anything over here. So let me show you a bunch of errors. First things first, okay, Now you have to declare all of them. Oh, wait, what am I doing? Missing method body or declare abstract. It is already abstract, bro. You know what, let's just close this. Okay, see, let me show you a bunch of errors. Interface abstract methods cannot have a body, so no concrete methods allowed. You can only have abstract methods, and you don't have to write abstract for that. When you write a method, it's automatically abstract. Is it okay now? No, it's not. You cannot extend an interface, so you have to implement an interface. Now I will have a bunch of errors because you didn't override any of these methods. Let's just decrease my work. Okay. Now what does they say? Assassinate in Altair cannot implement assassinate in assassin. Attempted to assign a weaker access privileges was public. You know there were 4 data types. Let's discuss that over here. Default, there is public, there is private, and of course there's one more, protected. So public is public, private is private, that means no one can access this. Protected is protected among a class and its children, and default is default, so that means it is weaker than public. So when you're writing over here, it's default. So in the interface you have to go there and turn it to public. This will fix this error, and you also have to write public over here, by the way. See, that solves the error. So this is how interface works. Now you said interface can only implement. Does this work? No. You must have a final value. Okay, now I have 0 over there and I have 15 over here. So what will I get over here? Let's just remove these things. It will only confuse you. You cannot create an interface class, of course, because it's not a class in the first place. I'll remove this as well. Compile, run. Okay. And what if I don't have this? It will give you 10. Can you change that 10? Can you say, okay, a.blades is equal to 0. How about that? Cannot assign a value to a final. Hey, wait, I didn't say final over here. How did this become final? Oh, that means blades is actually final. Interface has final automatically. This is the proof. You cannot do this. So a new comment over here. Okay, should be the whole thing, otherwise it will not compile. Okay, fine, I have the proof that this is final, but you still have to prove that this is static. How can static and final be together? Well, what is the proof that it is static? static variables can be called by class names. So if I write assassin.blades, there shouldn't be any error. If there is an error, then this is not static. If there is an error, then this is not static. If there isn't any error, then this is static. There is not any error. Does it run? Yes, it does. Assassin.blades is 10 because I have set up 10 over here. So I have proved that interface values are static and final, and you cannot create an interface class and you can inherit multiple interfaces. You cannot extend from multiple superclasses. You can only have one superclass, but you can have many interfaces. So if you create an interface over here and you want to implement that as well, it's fine. You can implement multiple interfaces. This is not a subclass, this is implementation. So that's all about interfaces, guys, and here we have discussed a little about default, public, private, and protected. Protected keeps your files private among the extended class, the superclass, and its subclasses. Default is default for all classes. Public lets it open for everyone, and private keeps it private. We did this in the first video, but still I discussed a little about those. And there you have the interface, and with that we also did final. So that ends the basics of 111, and this is the last video. So I hope you benefited from these videos, and if you have requests for any other topics, please let me know in the comments below. Until that, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Happy surviving, guys.